All right, what's up, world? This is Jason Jani, and I am fired up today to deliver you this video right here on my brand new YouTube channel. Today, I'm talking all about selling during a pandemic, and I want to offer you 5 key things that I've learned and incorporated into my personal and business sales at SCE that have just been incredibly beneficial during this crazy, complex time that we're all going through, the coronavirus, COVID-19 global pandemic. So this pandemic has absolutely crushed my business. At the time of recording this, we are 8 months now into this crazy pandemic that is really devastating the private and special events industry on a global scale. Anyway, through this process, I've learned a lot, and I want to share with you some key takeaways so that you can continue to build your business through crazy, complex times. And today I'm talking all about sales. And when I talk about sales, you can talk about it in a number of different parts. I'm going to talk about the part of the process that really focuses in on the meeting part of the overall sales process. I'm not talking about when they first reach out to you or when they send you an email or they say, hey, give me your pricing. I'm talking about when you're actually past that phase and you're into the one-on-one or one-on whoever amount or whatever amount of people meeting that you're sitting in. So it's either you with a couple, you with a family, you with a decision maker for a business, or whatever. Now, for me, if you're not familiar, I primarily do weddings and I also do other adult attended events more than anything. But these philosophies, although are really all around the mobile DJ world, can be applied to DJs in general anywhere. So whether you own a business or you work for a business, this video can help you. If you are a photographer that doesn't even do weddings, you can apply the 5 key takeaways in this video to your world and crush business in the future. I found these takeaways to be incredibly gold within my business, and I hope you find value in it as well. Before I go any further and get into it, I'd love to invite you to drop down below, crush the subscribe button, give me some sub love. I would be incredibly thankful and grateful for you to jump on board and support my journey right here on this brand new channel. And in doing so, I promise to deliver dope content to help you better your business and to do more awesome during and of course after the global pandemic we are all kind of working through carefully. And of course, the parameters of the pandemic are different in different areas of the world. I'm primarily speaking on my takeaways that can be applied during the pandemic and of course after the pandemic in the Northeast. Now, let's get into the context, selling during a pandemic. And this is going to be volume 1 of a 3-part series right here on this channel. So the first key takeaway I would bring to the table for anyone that's struggling with closing sales during a pandemic is all about resources and doing your homework. And I'm not talking about on the couple or the venue. I'm talking about doing your homework on all of the platforms available to you so that you select the best platform that aligns with the ability to essentially stack the deck in your favor so that you can convey your message on brand in a way that makes sense to you and your business that people can easily access from wherever they are. It needs to be something that one works on cellular service. It needs to work on a phone, an iPad, a Surface tablet, a PC, a Mac. It needs to be done if someone's on a train, and even if they're with their parents or other people that are involved with the overall planning kind of, I guess, element of their celebration that they have. It's super important that when you identify the tools that your workflow can be delivered and that your message can be conveyed in a very clear way. It's also important that if you are needing to show someone examples of work or you're looking to show them a slideshow of some sort, that you have the ability to do that in a way that they can actually get it on their phone and they can check it out and they can actually watch it with you. I'll give you a quick secret kind of like bonus to this tip number 1. We use Ecamm. And we use Ecamm with a number of different scenes. The scenes actually are what we use to deliver the content. Each scene that I set up for a sales consultation or an initial meeting is really geared towards that client, that event, and has even pictures of celebrations I've done in the past at their location. So it's really something that they are dialed into from a visual perspective right away. That's a golden nugget, and it's a kind of a plus nugget for this overall video. Let me move to number two. Number two is all about how you conduct yourself during that appointment or that consultation or that meeting or whatever you're calling it. It's super important that you try to stay on brand, on message, and you try to conduct the meeting as close as possible as to the world maybe before the pandemic, with maybe some slight adjustments, considering and incorporating the restrictions, the governed kind of ordinance or the orders that are in place affecting your industry at that present time. So we here in New Jersey are 7 months into the coronavirus pandemic, and my sales presentation really starts the same way as it always did. But when we get to different elements of the sales process, there is a level of complexity because some of the elements of our portfolio put people into situations that are a clear violation of the current executive order. That is so complicated to say, and I never really thought I would be saying that, but I'm saying it. So this is real deal. So when I get to those elements of the overall sales process, I simply address it by saying, hey, look, we do all this stuff too. And after we're done with this crazy pandemic we're all going through, we have the ability to circle back to this and maybe address it in the future, because there's a lot of unknowns, which really brings me to my third point. So the first point is do your homework. The second point is really like treat the appointment as close as possible to what you have always done, with some slight adjustments taking into consideration the world around you. Number three is all about being flexible AF. And when I say flexible AF, it's kind of like an end-to-end kind of like thing that kind of spans over the entire consultation, meeting, or appointment that you're doing. You need to understand that things are not business as usual. Things are not normal. And people may ask more questions than in comparison to before the pandemic. And you might not have all the answers. People might not have all the answers to your questions because there may be constraints, restrictions, or orders in place that will essentially impact their vision depending on if things get better or worse. And you need to understand that. You need to do what you need to deliver your presentation in a way where it aligns with not only how you operate, but how your business works. And you need to understand the reality of some of the things that you may typically have offered are not currently available due to a number of different reasons. Another example, a perfect example of this, is photo booths. Photo booths are, for me, a thing that we've always done, but they've become more complex in a situation like the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, because in a photo booth scenario, you typically have people touching the booth, sharing props, writing on something with shared pens, and placed into a small space with anywhere between 2 and, 15 guests, where they climb in, they take pictures all together, they get kind of crazy, they're in each other's faces in personal space, and then they all get copies that they share and they kind of like use and they move forward with. Well, that technically can't happen in the world we are now. So what we essentially do is we show that we offer the service. We also let them know that it's currently not really available now because there's so many restrictions, and we address the issues surrounding that service, like cleanliness, how to sanitize, limitations with things like props and shared books for people to sign, and areas that could be of risk to not only the couple, but the people that will be attending the event, as well as our staff. And I think most people can understand it. But the point is, we're super flexible because sometimes people might ask you a lot more questions. Sometimes people may ask more of you in terms of explanation. And if you're looking to obtain their vision for the day, they might not 100% have it defined at the time of your first meeting, because the world around them is surrounded by and includes so many unknowns for their celebration. So you need to be flexible AF. And that is my tip number 3. Number 4, this is a big one, and it's huge in the sales process, because I feel like it will not only position you to be an expert, but it'll position you to be in touch with the realities of the world around you. And that is all about answering questions for the couple before they're asked. Now, I'm not asking you to run on with all of information of all things surrounding the entire event. But if there are questions that you know are frequently asked by people that are planning like events, it's super important that you figure out a way to take those questions and you twist them in. For instance, an example of this would be like, people are like, oh my God, I feel so bad that the whole industry seems to be suffering. And my response to that would be, you're absolutely true. You're absolutely correct. It is suffering. And to date, we've moved this number of events and we've been able to help this many people. So like the twist on it is, I addressed it without giving them, the entire backstory, but I also spun it into a positive. And I think that if you can address things in a way that may answer a question in the future, whether it's about your personal performance ability, whether it's about your company deliverable ability, or it's about the event itself, or maybe things that are surrounding the pandemic in question. With this, I have found it to be super helpful to address things like our postponement process and or cancellation policy as part of my initial sales meeting dialogue. I think it's super important, because chances are that couple is going to have that as a question that they are going to ask you in the process of securing your service. So if you address it, it's like, I don't know, it's just a good thing. And I love hearing from couples that, oh my God, I don't have any more questions because you've answered them all for me, and this sounds really good. And I think that's really like the place you want to get to. Now, the very, very important 5th topic or area that I think you need to absolutely body to crush sales during a global pandemic is all about timeliness and responsiveness. And it is important now, maybe more than ever, to be responsive. So it is important that you absolutely body, and when I mean body, I mean crush your emails, your voicemails, your text messages, your incoming website contact us pings, your messages on platforms like Wedding Wire, The Knot, on Facebook, on Instagram. You need to be all over everything. And the quicker that you can respond, and respond with information that has value, the more likely and better you will be in a position to secure that opportunity as a service provider and those people as clients for your business. Now, that is my top 5 things that you need to do to crush business through a global sales pandemic. And if you've gotten to this phase of the video, I'd love to invite you to drop down below. So if you want to share with me some things that you've done that you found to be incredibly useful, drop in the comments below. Hit me up with a comment. I'll do my very best of responding to each and every person that comments on this video. I appreciate your watch. My name's Jason. Thanks for checking it out. Be on the lookout for another video. Shipping real soon. Thanks so good.